Hi and welcome. Excuse the mess behind. We're getting ready to hopefully move if we sell our house. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of an intro into a bit of software that I use regularly on the Android. It's also available for iOS as well, and it's called SnapSeed. It's made by Google, and on the Android there's been at least 50 million downloads, so as you can imagine, a very, very popular bit of software. SnapSeed is really the Swiss Army knife of any sort of editing that you want to do on images within the Android or the iOS. It's a lovely, easy, intuitive bit of software, and I'm just going to run you through what you can do with SnapSeed and just see what you think of it. Okay, this is an image that in fact I just nipped out and took it a few minutes ago outside with a bumblebee. So let's open up SnapSeed, and down the bottom we've got a list of effects that you can do with it. And basically these effects have been created as an easy way to get in and do some editing, but we won't use that. We'll in fact do our very, very own. And this is done within Tools, and we can start with, we can tune an image. And you notice that if we press on any, if we press in the middle, we can select any one of our different things that we can do, like brightness. So we can adjust the brightness up and down. Might need a little bit. And contrast a little. Saturation, I think we'll probably leave where it is. Ambience, we can just give it a little bit of a bump. Highlights, maybe. And shadows, just really looking at the bumblebee. So we're happy with our tuning. So if we just click down on the bottom right, we've updated our image. At any time, if you just press on the image, you can get a look at what it was like originally and what you've done so far in the editing. So let's now, we can select details, just to bring in the details, and you find that's without any details and that's with full. But I think we'll just certainly give it a little bit of a detail here. We can give it curves, the same, and there's our histogram down the bottom. And I think that looks quite nice. White balance, which we won't worry about. Cropping, very important. Cropping you can have at any variety. You can go square if you like, or 5:4, or in fact 16:9. Or you can in fact select free. Free allows you, as you can imagine, to freely move around however you like. And with this one, I think we'll just maybe do it like so. That actually looks quite nice. We will certainly have to look on the left-hand side to modify that a little. But so we've cropped, and let's have a look. If we'd like to, we could rotate or adjust the perspective, which sometimes you might need if it's been taken incorrectly. And you can adjust the perspective to however you like. But we'll forget about that and go back to the original. Expanding allows you to, in fact, expand out the size a bit. And you can see here what I've done is, I've increased the right-hand side. The software is rebuilding that part in for me. But once again, we won't use that. We're quite happy with what we've got. With brush, we can in fact use dodge and burn, exposure, and temperature. And let's have a look at the exposure. What we'll do is we'll just try dropping down The right hand side, which is the green, we'll sort of drop that down to, in fact I'll drop it down a fair way to say minus 0.7, and you can see here what I'm brushing in. So I'm brushing in an exposure of minus 0.7 around that area. If you want to have a look what you're doing or where you're exposing, if you press on the little eye, it'll give you a good idea of, in fact, where you've been setting your new, in this case, exposure. I'll just go through and do some adjustments now. Oh, and you can see here, but I can pinch in and zoom to an area and then very carefully go around that area. Okay, I've actually gone through and made some exposure changes within this. You can also adjust your colour temperature. In fact, in this one I might sort of drop down the colour temperature just a little bit on those lovely flowers. But once again, what we can do is, in fact, bump up the colour temperature just around our all-important bumblebee. Okay, so we've now got our image, and once again this is what it was like, and this is what we've done with it so far. We haven't done too much serious editing, but I think it actually looks quite nice. If we need to, we can do healing if there's a part of the image that in fact we don't particularly like, and in fact I think this maybe that little bit of the stalk there would be nice if it was disappeared. So in fact we can just go through and much like any in painting, we can just remove parts of it. So there we are, we've actually removed, I think that doesn't look too bad at all. So let's now carry on. HDR. You can simulate HDR, and you've got nature and people, and you can adjust any of the values of these ones too. We've got our filter strength, brightness, and saturation. I'm purposely bumping this up a little bit too far, except for around the bumblebee itself. And there's a very good reason, and in fact I'll just jump ahead in what I was going to do now. And if you see up on the top, you can actually view your edits. And what we've got here is a listing of all our edits, going from what it looked like originally, where we originally tuned it, adding in some details to our cropping, right up to our HDR. And you notice with the HDR, if we press there, on the far right, we can delete any of that HDR. We can also, on the right hand side, do the edits. And in fact, in the middle, what we can do is we can in fact paint in the bits only where we've done our HDR. And you can notice here that I'm just going to paint in those areas. And as you can see, what I'm doing is just briefly, I'll just go over here, so we're getting a little bit more. So we're just highlighting our bumblebee. We'll leave the HDR for the rest of it, and as you can see, it's looking once again quite nice. That's before and that's after, so we've just given it a little tiny bit more. When we're happy with that, we'll just hit the back arrow. So now we're back to the original, and once again this is our original, and this is how we are now. You can also give it sort of glows and whatever, but once again I think they're not what this requires. And you've also definitely got your black and white and your adjustments of those as well. These are standard availabilities for it. You can select your contrast or brightness varieties. We'll keep this in colour. And I think actually what we might do is we might just crop it down just that little bit more. It just seems to be a little bit not quite seeing enough. I think that's a lot better now. Oh. Oops. No, I think I might adjust that again. I do like that. Okay, that's not too bad. We can also give it a vignette and a lens blur. I'll just show you the vignette. So basically what we can do is adjust the vignetting around, and you've also got the inner brightness as well. So I'll just give that a little tiny bit of, a little tiny bit of outer brightness, not much. Just drop the outer brightness down by a bit. And we can also give it just a tiny bit of lens blur. What we'll do is we can in fact select our bumblebee, and we can selectively put from obviously a lot out of focus to a little bit of out of focus, just giving it that little gentle out of focus around the outside. Just to finish things off, we could also give it obviously a frame, and we can adjust to any variety of frames that we like. One I quite like is the odd 35mm film look, and we can adjust obviously the frame width of that. I used to think, maybe I don't like them. I'm picky. Just to make it stand out, I'll give it a... There, it's not too bad. And to finish things off, we'll put a bit of text. And here you could have any type of texture you like. And we'll just put in a... our humble bumblebee. And you notice that that's at the moment the style, and we can adjust the style to in fact anything we like, or anything that they've set up here, down to single lines. And you can adjust those, in fact, using the pinch tool again. You can adjust the position however you like. So if we're happy with that, there's our humble bumblebee. Once you're finished, you just press done and you are finished. We'll just do a quick change now to something else you can do within SnapSeed that I forgot to put in the main segment. So here it is. This image I took this morning, and once again we'll just get into SnapSeed. And if we make some changes, I'll just very quickly make some changes that we need to do with it. Bring up the shadows a bit. It's not too bad actually. And at the same time we'll bring up the details a bit to give it that nice warm look. If we're happy with that, the look and feel of that, In our looks, what we can in fact do is we go across the very far end, we'll find a plus sign, and we can save this as a name. Let's call it room. So what we've done now is we've saved the edits that we've done on that room. So we'll just select done out of that. Now I'll get back into SnapSeed on another image that I haven't made any modifications to. Here is the image in its standard form. What we can do within our looks, if we select looks, we can go across to our room and automatically make all of the modifications that we made within the other one into this image. And then we can say, thanks very much indeed. And in fact, if you needed to, you could go and edit any of those, but if you're happy with it, just press done. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little intro that Ben and I put together. I shall try and get as many more segments out, not on SnapSeed only, of course, but on my usual stuff of just showing Tasmania what it's like. And I'll get back to you real soon now with the next one. See you later.